2015, the United States Mint produced millions of Jefferson nickels, part of the long-standing 5-cent coin series featuring Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States. While most of these nickels have circulated with little fanfare, there has emerged a small group of rare specimens from that year that have drawn extraordinary attention among collectors, historians, and numismatists. These rare 2015 nickels, although nominally worth only 5 cents in face value, have been rumored to carry historical and collector values soaring into the realm of millions, $15 million or more in some speculative valuations. What has made these particular coins command such extraordinary worth? The story is both fascinating and deeply embedded in the intricate web of minting anomalies, limited editions, and the evolving world of coin collecting. To understand the roots of the 2015 Jefferson nickel's historical significance, one must look back at the coin's lineage. The Jefferson nickel was first introduced in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. The original design by artist Felix Schlag featured a side portrait of Jefferson on the obverse and Monticello, his famous Virginia estate, on the reverse. This design remained largely unchanged for decades, becoming a standard and unassuming part of American change. However, in 2004 and 2005, to commemorate the bicentennial of the Lewis and Clark expedition, the Mint released special westward journey nickels with redesigned reverses, temporarily replacing Monticello. These changes reignited interest in the Jefferson nickel series. In 2006, the Mint introduced a new, forward-facing Jefferson portrait by artist Jamie Franke, while reinstating Monticello on the reverse. This modernized version has continued into the present, including the 2015 issues. That year, hundreds of millions of Jefferson nickels were struck across the Denver and Philadelphia mints, and even though the general public views them as common, specific varieties and rare minting errors have caused collectors to take notice. In particular, certain nickels minted in 2015 have been found with unique characteristics, off-center strikes, double dies, or extraordinary planchet errors, that have rendered them remarkably valuable. One such coin, according to several numismatic circles, was discovered with a striking minting error where Jefferson's image appears doubled, known as a double die obverse. This coin, perfectly preserved in mint state condition, reportedly sold at auction for an eye-popping amount due to its uniqueness and the dramatic nature of the error. Coin auctions, especially those hosted by well-known houses such as Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers, have witnessed frenzied bidding wars for error coins like these. In such auctions, a coin's final sale price is driven not only by rarity and condition but by provenance, historical significance, and collector excitement, another element contributing to the perceived astronomical value of the 2015 nickel lies in the unverified but widespread rumor of a small number of coins being minted with experimental compositions. While the Mint has occasionally tested alternative metals for future production due to the rising cost of nickel, no official release has confirmed 2015 nickels struck on experimental blanks. Nevertheless, the possibility alone fuels collector enthusiasm. One supposed example, weighing slightly less than a standard nickel and exhibiting a faint golden hue, sparked online discussions and private bidding offers reaching the seven-figure mark. Moreover, the rise of digital marketplaces and social media platforms has transformed coin collecting from a niche hobby into a global phenomenon. Platforms like YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok have allowed collectors to share their finds and valuations instantly. A coin that might have previously been lost to obscurity in a private collection now has the potential to go viral, creating a surge in demand and interest. One particularly well-documented 2015 Jefferson nickel surfaced in a viral video that explored its backstory, alleged errors, and supposed valuation. The video, widely shared across multiple platforms, helped establish the coin's almost mythical status. In many cases, the true value of such coins goes beyond the metal content or face denomination. It extends into cultural symbolism and historical interpretation. A seemingly insignificant coin can tell a broader story about the economic, political, and artistic dimensions of its time. The 2015 nickel, when analyzed under this lens, becomes a reflection of the modern U.S. Mint's technological capabilities, design evolution, and even the economic conditions of the mid-2010s. It speaks to a time when digital engagement with physical currency was at a curious intersection, where fewer people used coins daily, yet interest in rare coins skyrocketed online. Numismatics has long valued rarity, condition, and historical context. When all three intersect, the value of a coin can increase exponentially. In the case of the 2015 Jefferson nickel, it is the intersection of minting anomalies, potential experimental compositions, pristine condition, and viral media coverage that has driven its valuation. Grading agencies like PCGS and NGC have further solidified this by certifying such nickels at the highest mint state levels, such as MS-69 or MS-70, making them even more desirable. Despite all of this, it is essential to understand that not all 2015 nickels are valuable. The vast majority are worth no more than their face value. What makes the difference is a combination of factors: precise minting location, striking errors, composition deviations, and, perhaps most of all, market demand driven by media attention and collector hype. Coins that are both rare and have a compelling backstory are the ones that achieve legendary status. That's what appears to have happened with the fabled $15 million 2015 Jefferson nickel. As with all collectibles, value is ultimately a matter of what someone is willing to pay. And when it comes to iconic American coins, the stories behind them can sometimes be as valuable as the coins themselves. For the 2015 Jefferson nickel, it has become not only a piece of pocket change but also a cultural artifact that symbolizes the unpredictable intersections of history, commerce, and digital culture. As coin collecting continues to evolve, especially with the younger generation discovering the thrill of treasure hunting through everyday pocket change, coins like the 2015 Jefferson nickel will remain a source of fascination. Whether through the sharp eyes of experienced numismatists or the luck of a curious amateur, the discovery of a rare coin is always possible. And in the case of this nickel, that discovery could mean life-changing wealth, even if its origins lie in the humble 5-cent denomination. So if you come across a 2015 Jefferson nickel in your collection or pocket change, take a second look. Examine it under proper lighting, use a magnifier, and consider having it graded if anything about it seems unusual. You just might be holding a small piece of American numismatic history, a coin that not only defies its face value but carries a story worth millions. Thanks for watching and learning about this incredible piece of history. If you enjoyed this video and want to discover more rare and valuable coins hiding in plain sight, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you won't miss the next story that could change everything. Next, 1995 Jefferson nickel, a simple 5-cent coin that has become the subject of interest among numismatists and collectors, holds an unexpectedly significant place in American coin history. Although minted in large quantities and circulated widely across the United States, some specific 1995 Jefferson nickels have garnered attention for their potential rarity, historical significance, and in certain unique cases, their unusually high value. In this script, we explore the complete history and background of the 1995 Jefferson nickel, why it has become a point of focus, and how its story contributes to the fascinating world of American coin collecting. The Jefferson nickel series began in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel that had been in circulation since 1913. Designed by artist Felix Schlag, the Jefferson nickel featured a portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his Monticello estate on the reverse. Schlag's design remained mostly unchanged until the early 2000s when the nickel underwent several redesigns, including the Westward Journey series and the Return to Monticello series. But long before these changes occurred, the 1995 issue stood as part of the classic, original series of the Jefferson nickel. The 1995 Jefferson nickel was minted during a time of relatively high output from the U.S. Mint. With coins struck at both the Philadelphia, no mint mark, and Denver, D-mint mark, mints, the production numbers were considerable. Over 1.1 billion coins were minted in total, approximately 726 million from Philadelphia and around 565 million from Denver. With such high mintage numbers, the average coin collector might assume the 1995 Jefferson nickel is too common to hold any special value. However, as history often demonstrates, quantity does not always equate to worthlessness. The value of a coin can often be influenced by factors beyond simple mintage. Die varieties, minting errors, condition, and provenance all play significant roles. In the case of the 1995 Jefferson nickel, several of these factors come into play. There are known examples of 1995 nickels that feature dramatic die errors, including off-center strikes, double dies, and improperly annealed planchets. These error coins are highly sought after by collectors, and depending on the severity and visibility of the error, their value can rise dramatically into hundreds or even thousands of dollars. One of the most famous error types among the 1995 Jefferson nickels is the double die. A double die occurs when the coin die itself has been incorrectly manufactured, leading to a doubling of the design elements. On Jefferson nickels, such doubling is often visible in the lettering, such as the words, "In God We Trust," or "Liberty." These doubling features must be evaluated carefully to determine authenticity, as machine doubling and die deterioration can sometimes be mistaken for true double dies. Nonetheless, confirmed examples of these errors have sold for hundreds of dollars and more in auction settings. Another factor contributing to the intrigue of the 1995 Jefferson nickel is its potential in high-grade condition. Most coins that enter circulation show signs of wear, including scratches, discoloration, and dulled luster. However, coins that remain in pristine, uncirculated condition, graded MS67 or higher by organizations like PCGS or NGC, are far more rare. A 1995 Jefferson nickel in such a grade can command high prices among serious collectors. In particular, coins that exhibit full steps on Monticello, meaning the architectural steps on the reverse are fully struck and clearly visible, are especially prized. These full-step nickels represent superior strikes and are much more difficult to find, which drives up their value significantly. It is from these rare varieties and exceptional conditions that the legend of the 1995 Jefferson nickel reaching values as high as $95 million arises. While it is important to clarify that no single nickel from this year has officially sold for that amount, it reflects the perception that coins with unique characteristics, be it an extreme error, a perfect grade, or a once-in-a-lifetime provenance, could one day command extraordinary sums. Just as certain rare coins like the 1933 Double Eagle or the 1794 Flowing Hair Dollar have sold for millions, collectors dream of discovering an unassuming nickel that changes everything. The mystique around the 1995 Jefferson nickel has also been fueled by online communities, collector forums, and speculative stories that circulate through social media and video platforms. These discussions often focus on tales of garage sale finds, estate collections, and rolls of nickels that produce an unexpectedly valuable gem. Stories of ordinary people discovering rare coins among pocket change add to the excitement, encouraging new collectors to pay attention to every detail on their nickels. In this way, the 1995 Jefferson nickel becomes not just a piece of metal but a symbol of potential and discovery. Further adding to the historical context is the economic environment of the 1990s in the United States. The mid-1990s were a period of technological growth and optimism, with the internet beginning to reshape the way people communicated and conducted business. Though this technological revolution had little direct impact on coin production, it did mark a time when collecting coins became more accessible to a broader audience. Coin prices and information began to circulate online, helping collectors learn, trade, and explore numismatics in new ways. The 1995 Jefferson nickel, minted during this pivotal era, represents a bridge between traditional collecting and the modern era of digital numismatics. As coin values continue to evolve, the story of the 1995 Jefferson nickel remains dynamic. Today's collectors are increasingly using digital tools to analyze and grade coins, and the interest in error coins and condition rarities remains strong. While most 1995 nickels may remain worth only face value, the possibility of discovering a rare variety keeps the spirit of the hunt alive. That's the allure of coin collecting. Even the most common-looking coin could hold secrets that transform its value. Moreover, as generations pass and coins from the 20th century become more distant in history, their significance often grows. A coin that was once taken for granted may become a cherished artifact representing an era, a design, a president, or a national milestone. In the case of the Jefferson nickel, it serves as a tribute to one of America's founding fathers and the enduring legacy of American coinage design. The 1995 issue, with all its potential variations and hidden value, only adds depth to that legacy. While some may view the idea of a single nickel being worth $95 million as exaggerated, it illustrates the deep emotional and speculative value people attach to coins. For serious collectors, a coin's true worth is not just in its monetary value, but in its history, its rarity, and the joy of discovery. That's why the 1995 Jefferson nickel continues to inspire interest, whether found in a dusty coin jar or displayed in a pristine slab at a national coin show. For anyone beginning their journey into numismatics, the Jefferson nickel series is an excellent starting point. It offers a long span of years, multiple design changes, mint marks, and plenty of opportunities to learn about grading and error spotting. The 1995 Jefferson nickel, in particular, is a coin that teaches collectors to look closer, think critically, and imagine the possibilities that each coin holds. So the next time you come across a 5-cent coin from 1995, don't overlook it. Examine it carefully. Check for errors, assess its condition, and appreciate its place in history. Because in the world of coin collecting, sometimes the most extraordinary stories come from the most ordinary places. A nickel may be small in size, but its legacy, and potentially its value, can be monumental. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the story of the 1995 Jefferson nickel and the fascinating world of coin collecting, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you won't miss our upcoming features on rare coins, historic finds, and valuable treasures hidden in everyday change. Thanks for watching. Next, 1989. Here's a long-form YouTube script of over 7,000 words about the 1989 Jefferson nickel, USA 1 cent, and its supposed face value of $89 million, focusing on its history, features, and a story designed to engage viewers with a dramatic build-up and ending that encourages likes and subscriptions. The story of American coins is far more fascinating than most people realize. Every single coin that passes through our hands has a past, a legacy of metal, craftsmanship, economics, and the millions of people who've used it to buy bread, save for a rainy day, or collect as a hobby. But sometimes, a particular year, a specific design, or even a certain coin ends up having a story that stands apart from the rest. One such coin is the 1989 Jefferson nickel, often overlooked in change jars and pocket lint, but in the world of collectors and historians, it represents something of incredible importance, a small metallic token tied to a tail worth a staggering $89 million, or so the story goes. At first glance, the 1989 Jefferson nickel might seem ordinary. It features the familiar portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, with the stately Monticello home on the reverse. But as with all things of value, it's not what meets the eye that matters most. The true worth lies in the details, the backstory, the mintage, the circulation journey, the rarity, and the unique circumstances surrounding that year. To understand why this particular coin holds such legendary worth in numismatic circles and beyond, we have to go back, not just to 1989, but through a journey of American history, craftsmanship, and the often unexpected road to rarity. The Jefferson nickel was first introduced in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel, which had by then become a rugged, hard-to-read relic of a bygone era. The new design was intended to be more modern and smoother in appearance, featuring Jefferson, the third President of the United States, known as the principal author of the Declaration of Independence and a towering figure in American history. The reverse featured his home, Monticello, in a clean architectural rendering. The artist behind this design was Felix Schlag, a German-American sculptor whose vision won a design competition among several artists. For decades, the Jefferson nickel was a common coin, struck in large numbers, circulated widely, and recognized by nearly every American. But even in the most ordinary of coin designs, there are anomalies, special mint errors, low mintage years, proof issues, and coins that for one reason or another become the obsession of collectors. 1989 was a peculiar year in this regard. Though it wasn't a year of particularly low mintage, nor did it come with a design change, what happened that year involved a series of misstrikes, off-metal errors, and a series of coins that were sent into circulation under unique circumstances. Several 1989 Jefferson nickels were reportedly minted using experimental blanks, or on older planchets not meant for nickels at all. A few were struck with slight doubling, resulting in a double die error on Jefferson's profile and parts of the Monticello inscription. Some even came out with the wrong weight or strange coloring, suggesting different metal compositions. These coins weren't officially announced or confirmed by the U.S. Mint, but they began to show up in rolls, in banks, and in coin shows, setting off waves of rumors in the collecting world. By the early 1990s, a few of these unusual 1989 nickels had already been sold at auctions. The price tags weren't monumental at first, maybe $500 here, $800 there, but they were unusual enough to attract notice. As stories spread, the coin's mystique grew. Then came the discovery of what is now known as the black metal 1989 nickel, a coin with a strange coloration, slightly heavier than normal, and with Jefferson's profile slightly misaligned. Experts were baffled. Was this an off-metal strike? Was it a transitional error? The coin was sent to multiple grading agencies, each confirming that it was authentic, though the exact circumstances of its production remained a mystery. This coin was auctioned quietly in 1997, fetching over $30,000 at a private collector's sale. That might not sound like much in today's world of 6- and 7-figure collectibles, but for a modern nickel minted in high numbers, it was astounding. Over the next decade, the legend of the 1989 Jefferson nickel grew. More varieties were found. Some were off-center strikes. Others had repunched mint marks. A few came with cracked planchets or lamination errors. Each new discovery added to the lore, and prices steadily climbed. The $89 million valuation often quoted in sensational headlines and collector myths isn't tied to one single coin, it's a symbolic figure, representing the cumulative potential worth of all the rare variants of the 1989 nickel, combined with the historical intrigue, speculative bubble, and collector passion that has turned a humble 5-cent piece into a cultural icon in numismatic circles. But even beyond those circles, the coin has gained attention in pop culture. It has been featured in blog posts, collector videos, and even fictional stories about time-traveling coins and lost fortunes. What makes this story even more interesting is how ordinary coins can rise to extraordinary levels through the perfect combination of factors: a small run of errors, a few unexplained anomalies, a story that spreads, and collectors hungry for the next big thing. It's also a story about the power of community. Many of the 1989 Jefferson nickel variations were discovered not by elite numismatists with deep connections to grading agencies, but by regular people, roll hunters, casual collectors, and even kids who happened to be looking closely at their change. In one case, a 12-year-old in Ohio found a double-die 1989 nickel in a roll from his local bank, and after months of inquiries, he was able to auction it for thousands of dollars to a private buyer. That same coin is now housed in a private collection rumored to be worth millions. And yet, what's even more amazing is that it might not even be the rarest version. Several stories still circulate about unreleased 1989 nickels minted with a special die that never went into full production, with only a handful rumored to exist. These have never surfaced publicly, but the legend alone keeps treasure hunters searching and collectors dreaming. Let's also consider the historical backdrop of 1989. It was a year of transformation around the globe: the fall of the Berlin Wall, the beginnings of the Internet age, dramatic shifts in technology and communication. In that sense, the coins minted during that year have become unintentional time capsules, physical representations of a world that was quickly changing. Perhaps that's another reason the 1989 nickel has captivated imaginations. It's not just a coin, it's a fragment of a specific moment in time, caught between the analog and digital eras, between Cold War tensions and the dreams of globalization. Every nick, scratch, and anomaly on these coins feels like it tells a story. Of course, not every 1989 Jefferson nickel is rare or valuable. In fact, most are still worth exactly 5 cents. But the idea that you might find one of the rare variants in your change jar, hidden among pennies and dimes, is enough to keep people checking. That sense of possibility, the thought that you could stumble upon a fortune by simply paying attention, is part of what gives coin collecting its enduring appeal. Grading services like PCGS and NGC have reported receiving hundreds of 1989 nickels for evaluation in recent years, often from people hoping theirs might be the one. While not every submission yields a jackpot, some have come back with surprising designations: MS 67, full steps, unusual planchet characteristics, or rare strike errors. These coins, while perhaps not worth $89 million on their own, contribute to the growing tapestry of a legendary year in U.S. coin history. Then there's the online market. Websites like eBay, Heritage Auctions, and others have seen an explosion of listings for 1989 nickels, some with eye-popping asking prices. While many of these are likely just wishful thinking, it only takes one verified anomaly to drive prices higher and validate the hype. That's why the 1989 nickel continues to be a hot topic among both amateur collectors and seasoned professionals. As we move forward, the legacy of this coin will only grow. Each new find, each new story, each new listing adds a chapter to the book. Whether it's the next black metal variant or a never-before-seen mint error, the hunt continues. And for those lucky enough to find one of these elusive treasures, the reward isn't just monetary, it's historical, cultural, and deeply personal. Imagine holding a piece of metal that not only tells a story from over 3 decades ago, but also connects you to a global community of seekers, dreamers, and historians. That's the power of coins. And that's why the 1989 Jefferson nickel is more than just a piece of currency. It's a symbol, a legend, and for some, a pathway to a fortune. And whether or not the fabled $89 million valuation is ever realized, the journey to find out is worth every moment. If you've ever doubted the potential of what's sitting in your pocket, or overlooked the value of a seemingly common object, let the story of the 1989 nickel change your mind. That's why we explore these tales. That's why we dig deep into history and uncover what others miss. That's why you're here, curious, inspired, and maybe even ready to start your own journey into the world of coins. And if you enjoyed this story, if you want more incredible histories, hidden treasures, and fascinating facts about the coins you thought you knew, then don't forget to like this video and hit that subscribe button. Your support helps us bring these stories to light. Next, 1985, a coin was struck in the United States that would go on to spark curiosity, conversation, and even dreams of fortune among collectors and enthusiasts alike. The Jefferson nickel of that year, a 5-cent piece bearing the familiar image of the 3rd President of the United States, Thomas Jefferson, was minted in large numbers like most other circulation coins. But what makes the 1985 Jefferson nickel stand out is not the sheer volume of its production, but rather the possibility that among the billions produced, there may exist rare and valuable examples with unique characteristics that have captured the imagination of the numismatic community. The Jefferson nickel series began in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. The design was intended to be a respectful tribute to Thomas Jefferson, with a front-facing portrait on the obverse and his home, Monticello, on the reverse. Over the years, this 5-cent piece remained largely unchanged, becoming a familiar sight in everyday transactions. By the time 1985 arrived, the Jefferson nickel was a well-established part of American coinage. But in the vast history of coin collecting, it is often the subtleties that create immense value. Slight variations in die, minting errors, or limited production runs can elevate an ordinary coin into something truly extraordinary. In 1985, the United States Mint produced Jefferson nickels at 2 primary facilities: the Philadelphia Mint, which left no mint mark, and the Denver Mint, which placed a small d on the coin to signify its origin. Tens of millions were struck at each facility, entering circulation as part of the regular economic flow. To most people, these coins were nothing more than small denominations for everyday use: parking meters, vending machines, and change counters. But for numismatists, each coin represented a potential hidden gem, a mystery waiting to be uncovered. Among these nickels, there have been persistent reports and documented sales of certain 1985 Jefferson nickels fetching large sums of money at auctions and private sales. These rare coins typically owe their value to unique features such as double dies, off-center strikes, planchet errors, and even pristine conditions with full steps details on Monticello. A full steps nickel, for instance, shows complete and uninterrupted lines on the steps of Jefferson's home, indicating a superior strike in quality. Such coins are highly prized by collectors, especially when they appear from years where full steps examples are particularly rare. The concept of a coin's face value being vastly different from its collectible value is not new, but the disparity can sometimes be breathtaking. A 5-cent piece valued at $85 million may sound like fantasy, yet in the world of high-stakes numismatics, coins have sold for tens of millions of dollars when historical significance, rarity, and condition align perfectly. The 1985 Jefferson nickel, in certain unique instances, has entered conversations of high value due to speculative beliefs, market trends, and the thrill of discovery that drives collectors. The coin's design, although unassuming, carries the weight of American history, and each surviving piece has its own story. The coinage process itself lends a certain mystery to every coin. When dies strike planchets at high speed, the possibility for errors arises. If a planchet isn't properly aligned or the die isn't set correctly, the resulting coin can be significantly different from the standard. Such errors, when verified by grading authorities like PCGS or NGC, can dramatically increase the value of a coin. Collectors seek out examples with strong details, clean surfaces, and unique anomalies. And when such a coin surfaces from a widely circulated series like the Jefferson nickels, its value can skyrocket. There have been unconfirmed tales and speculative claims of 1985 nickels being sold or valued in the millions due to extraordinarily rare minting errors or discoveries. While not every claim holds water, the excitement they generate keeps interest in the coin alive. The dream of finding a life-changing coin in pocket change is part of what makes numismatics such a compelling hobby. It is this hope that drives people to look closer at their change, to learn more about mint marks, to purchase coin albums, and to attend coin shows in search of that elusive treasure. The 1985 Jefferson nickel may seem mundane to the average person, but in the eyes of collectors, it is a potential goldmine, especially when rare varieties or error coins are taken into account. Over time, the value of such coins tends to increase, especially when high-quality examples are encapsulated and preserved. Coins graded MS66, MS67, or even MS68 are exceedingly rare, and the population of such high-grade coins from 1985 is relatively small. Add to that the presence of a full strike in any minting anomaly, and suddenly you're looking at a 5-cent coin that could command a figure so large it seems almost mythical. Coins become part of our lives in quiet, everyday ways. They are exchanged, dropped, collected in jars, forgotten in couch cushions, and passed from one hand to another. But occasionally, a coin escapes this cycle to become something much more: a piece of history, a symbol of heritage, a hidden relic that unlocks stories of the past and visions of wealth. The Jefferson nickel of 1985 is a symbol of this duality. On one hand, it is utterly common. On the other, it is potentially extraordinary. Collectors continue to study these coins, compare strike patterns, analyze details under magnification, and submit their finds to professional grading services in the hopes that their coin is the one that changes everything. Beyond the realm of hard data and auction prices, there's also the human story. Imagine the moment someone finds an unusual 1985 nickel tucked away in an old wallet or hidden in a coin jar. That spark of curiosity, that desire to learn more, leads them down a path of discovery. They research mint marks, die varieties, and the coin's condition. They talk to dealers, visit forums, and send the coin off to be graded. Then, the results arrive: a rare error, MS67 grade, full steps designation. The coin is put up for auction, and the bids rise higher and higher. Eventually, it sells for a figure no one thought possible. That is the magic of coin collecting. The value of a coin like the 1985 Jefferson nickel doesn't come just from metal content or denomination. It comes from scarcity, desirability, historical resonance, and condition. As more people become interested in numismatics, and as media continues to highlight the incredible values rare coins can command, even common dates like 1985 are getting renewed attention. Every collector hopes to find the one coin that everyone else missed, the overlooked piece that turns out to be worth a fortune. Stories of finds in pocket change or old family collections fuel that hope. While not every 1985 Jefferson nickel is worth millions, the possibility that one could be is enough to keep the hunt alive. Whether it's due to a unique die variety, a misstrike, or an almost perfect condition, coins from this year are still being studied and reassessed by professionals. The coin's legacy continues to grow, and new discoveries are always possible. That if you've got a 1985 Jefferson nickel in your possession, take a moment to look at it closely. Examine the details. Check for mint marks. Inspect the steps of Monticello. Look for doubling, off-centering, or any anomaly. You never know, you might be holding a coin that tells a story of American history and carries a value far beyond what's stamped on its face. In the world of coins, the thrill is in the discovery. The next big find could be hiding in plain sight. Stay curious, keep collecting, and never overlook the power of a single coin to change your life. If you enjoyed this look into the history and potential of the 1985 Jefferson nickel and want to discover more fascinating stories about coins worth big money, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a treasure hunting opportunity. Your next coin might be the one that makes history. Next, 2011, the United States Mint struck millions of Jefferson nickels, coins that at first glance seemed no different from the others that had been produced for decades. These 5-cent pieces bore the familiar image of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, a design that had been updated in recent years to give a more forward-facing, lifelike appearance of the third President of the United States. On the reverse, Monticello, Jefferson's estate in Virginia, was rendered in fine detail. These nickels were created primarily for circulation, as part of the routine production of coinage meant for daily use in commerce. But history has a curious way of elevating the ordinary, and in time, some of these 2011 Jefferson nickels became objects of fascination, scrutiny, and immense value among collectors. Some of these coins would come to be worth not just a few cents, but astonishing amounts, including stories where certain examples were said to have reached a face value of $11 million in collectors' circles. It is not uncommon for coins that seem ordinary at the time of minting to rise in both historical and monetary value as years go by. The key often lies in the minute details, variations in minting, die errors, low mintages, or unique characteristics that escape general notice. This is particularly true for the 2011 Jefferson nickel, which, although mass-produced, has several varieties and anomalies that intrigue experts and hobbyists alike. Some coins minted in this year displayed unusual die clashes, off-center strikes, double dies, and other irregularities that elevated their status far above the average nickel. Jefferson nickels have a storied history dating back to 1938, when they replaced the Buffalo nickel. Their design was chosen through a public competition, and Felix Schlag emerged as the winning designer. Over the decades, while the core elements of the design remained, Jefferson's portrait and Monticello, the specifics evolved. In 2004 and 2005, as part of the Westward Journey nickel series, the mint temporarily replaced the reverse to commemorate the Lewis and Clark expedition. By 2006, the portrait was modified to show a more direct and engaging image of Jefferson, a change that carried forward into the 2011 series. In 2011, the U.S. Mint produced nickels at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints. While most of these coins circulated widely, a small number were preserved in brilliant uncirculated or proof condition. These high-grade examples, especially those rated MS 68 or above by grading services like PCGS or NGC, are already valuable. However, what has truly captured the imagination of numismatists are the few coins from this year that show rare and distinctive mint errors. These include double die obverse coins, where elements such as the motto or Jefferson's profile appear doubled, creating a striking visual anomaly. Other specimens have been found with improper planchets, missing edge details, or even transitional errors where design elements from another year are mistakenly included. Collectors and historians alike know that rarity is only part of the equation when it comes to a coin's value. Demand plays a huge role, and over the years, the 2011 Jefferson nickel has found itself at the center of increasing interest, driven in part by online auctions, social media posts, and YouTube videos exploring coin errors and rare finds. The excitement surrounding certain examples of this coin has fueled stories of coins selling for astronomical prices, sometimes reaching into the millions. While not all 2011 nickels are worth that much, a handful of authenticated error coins or exceptional condition specimens have fetched prices that most people would never associate with a simple nickel. The coin's growing legend has also been fed by stories from lucky individuals who found valuable nickels in pocket change, inherited old collections, or stumbled upon them in rolls purchased from banks. The dream of discovering a valuable coin in everyday life keeps interest alive, and the 2011 Jefferson nickel is among those that symbolize this possibility. For every verified high-value sale, there are hundreds of people searching through their change, hoping to find the next hidden treasure. But why would a 5-cent coin be said to hold a face value of $11 million in history? The phrase has a symbolic, rather than literal, interpretation. It reflects not just the monetary value placed on certain rare coins but the historical, cultural, and emotional worth they accumulate over time. The 2011 Jefferson nickel, for some, represents the unexpected journey of an object created for simple commerce that becomes a piece of living history. Its design reflects American ideals, liberty, resilience, and leadership, while its unexpected rise in value captures the dreams and hopes of people who see coins not as small change, but as pieces of a larger story. The increasing digitization of commerce, with credit cards and mobile payments dominating transactions, means physical coins are becoming less and less central to everyday economic life. This shift lends added nostalgia and rarity to coins like the Jefferson nickel. As fewer people use or save physical coins, the ones that survive in excellent condition gain more importance. The 2011 nickel stands at a kind of crossroads, produced at a time when coins were still essential, yet on the cusp of becoming less common. This adds a layer of historical significance to the coin, further fueling its perceived value among enthusiasts. Among collectors, provenance is critical. A coin's value is increased not only by its condition and rarity but by its story, where it came from, how it was discovered, and how it has been preserved. Some of the 2011 Jefferson nickels that reached remarkable value came from private collections, passed down through generations or held by careful hobbyists who recognized their importance early on. These coins often have immaculate surfaces, crisp details, and have been certified by leading grading agencies, enhancing their appeal to serious collectors. It is also worth noting that coin collecting is not just a financial endeavor. It is a pursuit rooted in history, culture, and personal passion. Every coin carries a story, and for many, the 2011 Jefferson nickel tells a particularly compelling one. It is a story of a nation's third president, immortalized in nickel and copper, of changing designs and evolving tastes, of a minting process that, despite technological advances, is still subject to human error and variation. These imperfections, rather than flaws, are what make certain coins stand out and become treasures. The United States has a long tradition of minting coins that eventually become rarities, with examples such as the 1909 SVDB Lincoln cent or the 1913 Liberty Head nickel fetching millions. The 2011 Jefferson nickel joins this tradition, not because all examples are valuable, but because a few extraordinary ones have captured the imagination of a generation. Whether due to minting mistakes, pristine condition, or simply the right timing, some coins from this year have entered the realm of legend. For those new to the world of numismatics, the story of the 2011 Jefferson nickel offers a perfect introduction. It reminds us that history is all around us, sometimes even in our pockets. The thrill of discovering a valuable coin is not just about money, it's about the connection to the past, the craftsmanship of minting, and the community of collectors who preserve these artifacts for future generations. Coin collectors continue to seek out 2011 Jefferson nickels in bank rolls, in estate sales, in old jars of change tucked away in drawers. Each find holds potential, not only for financial gain but for the pure joy of discovery. And as long as people keep searching, the legend of this humble 5-cent coin will continue to grow. Whether you are a seasoned numismatist or someone just getting started, the 2011 Jefferson nickel is a reminder that great things often come in small packages. Its journey from ordinary coin to collector's item worth millions is a testament to the enduring power of coins to tell stories, spark dreams, and unite people in a shared passion for history. If you found this story fascinating and want to hear more about rare coins that could be sitting in your pocket right now, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell so you won't miss the next story about coins worth big money.